So we couldn't able to hear you.
Which one, ma'am?
No, now okay, now okay. Just now we had
No,
an
no, ma'am. Which
interruption.
slide that missed?
Not missed. We couldn't able to hear you, I'm telling.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So when we are talking about the overfitting data means that sometimes that fruit analysis means that we have to give that equal number of that image. For an example, that 5,000 apple image or 5,000 orange image or 5,000 avocado, like that I have to give. Suppose that I'm giving that 50,000 apple image and only that 5,000 apple 5,000 orange means sometimes that machine may predict wrongly predict that particular for an example you are giving that orange as an input means, so it may predict that it is a apple like that. So that is one problem. That another problem is that underfitting also. So underfitting means that I'm getting that I'm giving that less samples. It means that instead of that 5,000 I'm giving only 500 means, so that time also that I may face that issue. So that main option to reduce that underfitting is that feature engineering. Then we have to remove the noises and that we have to increase the parameter and selecting the powerful model. So then that offline or deployment model is that it consists of that 6 stages. One is the data collection, data cleaning, feature engineering, analysis pattern, the training the model and optimization deployment. Suppose that if we are doing some mistakes in the data collection, so that will also affect the project, or the data cleanings. That time if you are wrongly that given that input also, that will spoil your outcome. So these are the tools that we are using for that analysis. That it may be what to say. It may be that normal project or mini project or major project or what are the projects we are having. So the prerequisite is that we need that SQL knowledge and basic Python knowledge. And that, for an example, that if we work in that Anaconda, that is also okay. So that you can learn that PyCharm or that QP console or that Spider or the Jupyter notebook. So these are all that you can add. So suppose that you want to do the data science with the Python means you need that these knowledges. It may you have to know that what is the use of that bouquet or that plot ly matplotlib pandas library or SQL learn numpy sci-fi that etc. So then that basic project means that we are going for that some operation that if it is advanced means we have to go with that either PyTorch or TensorFlow, Tihane, Keras libraries and all. So previously that whatever that we are using, suppose that output will be it is showing only the 2 dimension. It means that it contains only that x and y axis. For an example, data I'm talking about the data visualization. But that if you want to go for the 3-dimensional view, it means that XYZ means that you're not able to use that some of the basic application. Either that you have to go with that MATLAB software, or that you have to go with that SPSS software, or that you have to go with some advanced softwares only. But nowadays that you can add the TensorFlow or Tiane, Keras, that so that you can go with that 3-dimensional views also. Apart from that, we are talking about the big data. Big data means that we can go with the Presto or that Hadoop also, or Hive. These are all things that we are going to discuss. Then that even that Spark also. So the Spark also one of the Apache product only. So in the Spark also we can do that projects. So main that machine learning libraries are that scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras. So these are some of the tools that we are using in the machine learning. That is R programming, Apache Spark, BigML, then D3JS, then MATLAB, SAS, the ggplot2. So ggplot2 that mainly for data visualization we are using in the R programming. Then Tableau, Jupyter that nowadays that Jupyter notebook available in the Google Colab. So Google Colab is that supercomputer. It is mainly used for that Python application only, especially that Jupyter notebook. So matplotlib, that normal that plotting operation that you can go with that matplotlib only. So these are some of the application. For an example, face recognition. Suppose that you are keeping that your camera means that it will show some numbers. So for an example, if you are keeping that in straight means that it will show that your exact age. So that is also one of the application of face recognition. It means that your what are the camera nowadays that it available. So it is inbuilt by that artificial intelligence applications. Then trials transferring. So for an example, that black and white that line added with that colorful that trees. So we will get that this kind of application in the 2014 model Picasso, that application that we are using like this. Then that high quality enhancement beautification. So I already told that it will hide that your pimple or dimple. It will give that some beautifications. For an example, that many apps are available. So that with for an example, instead of using that your camera, that you can go with that app camera, means you can see that some changes also. Then that we are talking about the object detection. It means that self-driving car. So in the self-driving car means that in the front that cameras are available. So cameras will capture that what is that object before that particular car, so that it will automatically it will do that some analysis whether it is belongs to the car or scooter or for an example that suppose that the year that I want to overtake means, so first I have to check that whether any vehicles are coming from this side, and according to that only that I can do. Then the classification. So classification means that it will classify. Priorly that we are telling no that we can classify the fruits. So now that here in this application that it is showing like it will classify the object, what are the objects are available. So this is a car, this is a dog, this is a human, this one is ours, like that, that it will categorize. So then that apart from that, we can use that new neural machine translation. Suppose that I'm going to that Japan means, so in Japan that most of the people that they know only the Japanese language. So there like I cannot speak that what is it that English, and also that I have to I can use that neural machine translator, so that for an example that I want to ask that one person, so which bus is going to the Tokyo means, so I can ask that I can on that new particular application, and I can record that my voice. So which bus is going to the Tokyo. So automatically that it will convert to the Japanese language, and that the Japanese person that they will hear that in the whatever that my query, they will hear in their language. So they can, if they reply means that automatically it will convert to that whatever the language that I want. Then the sequence of sequence chat model. It means that the chatbot. So whatever that you are giving, that it will give that continuous answer. Then that Baiju, that speech recognition using that RNN. So this is also that what are that voices are there, it will convert into the text format. Then that time series also, the data also that we can analyze, do the analysis. So this is a facial recognitions. So facial recognition means it will hide that what are the other objects are there, only that it will take that your particular face. Then forecasting. So with help of that forecasting data, either we can predict that temperature will be increased or temperature will be decreased. Then musical composition also, that with help of that some notes that we can compose that music also. Then that we are talking about the neural networks. So the neural networks means that whatever that I told, no, that for an example that I'm riding the bike in the highway. So in that suddenly that one object comes means that I'm applying that brake. So it means that my eyes are detected, but that outcome is that my hand apply the brake. It means that there will be huge number of that. It means that what is it? Millions of that neurons are connected with that our what are that eyes with that brain, and also brain with that all other parts like that. So there are that multiple fields that introduced in the year of 2011, the speech recognition. Then 2013 it is vision, and 2015 it is NLP, natural language processing. Then that 2017 that it is a information retrieval. So information retrieval also that one of the applications. So that for an example that you're typing in the Google, for an example, I want to travel. So automatically it will give the some suggested word. So it means that I want to travel. Means that it will, for an example, that you are frequently that you are using that Google in your laptop means. So suppose that I want to book a flight ticket. So that I'm telling that I want to fly, book my flight ticket to. If I'm giving means automatically it will take the city. For an example, mostly I'm traveling to Coimbatore means that it will take that first option is Coimbatore. Then that next option is that another city like that Bangalore, like that it will give the options. It means that depends on the number of hits. It means that how many times that you are visiting to the particular city, then that will give the input. So it is like that neural system that whatever that we are hearing that that will For an example, that you know that what is an input layer, but what is an output layer, but in between that what will happen that we cannot know, but we are telling that what are that neurons are connected with that our brain. So what are that I'm saying that it will be converted, it will connected to that my brain. So brain will give that instruction to that my hands like that. But that hidden layer that we don't know that it is very, very difficult. Like that only that input layers are there, the output layers are there, the hidden layers are also available. So this is the concept of that artificial neural networks. So here that neurons that with help of that weight biases and connections that we are calculating, then feed forward propagations that it means that with help of that weight and that we are calculating with the bias value, then that we are calculating that with help of that formula that we are calculating that what is that predictions. So if that predictions are that the error values are more, means that we can go with that back propagation algorithms. So this is a biological neuron. So the in our brain that we are containing the 10 to the power of 11 neurons. So one neuron is connected with 15 into 10 to the power of 4 neurons. So the total number of connections in human brain is 10 to the power of 15 neurons. So this is a example that so this is the input layer we know, that that output layer also that we know. In between there may be n number of hidden layers may be available. Suppose that I want to do that my project very perfectly, means that I can increase that more number of hidden layers. So then the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all are like a siblings only. So for an example, that with help of that artificial intelligence only that we are explaining the machine learning, deep learning concept. So for an example, I want to do the deep learning project, means I have to use that machine learning algorithms only. I can use that artificial intelligence concept only. The artificial intelligence concept means that, for an example, in deep learning, we are using that artificial neural networks. So that and all the concepts are comes from that artificial intelligence only. Uh, so for an example, that input is there, that Indian layers are there, output is there. So that these are neural networks. So the input layers are there. So these are all called as the hidden layer. So all the input layers are connected with that hidden layer. So it is not that one-to-one connection. It is a many-to-many connections. Suppose that in the input I'm giving that male image, means that this image is converted into that n number of pixels. So that pixel is applying that into that input layer. So here that weight also given, that bias value is also given. According to that, it will multiply. Finally, that suppose that I want to male, means so this should be that value should be equal to 1. So this value should be equal to 0. So then only that my predictions are good. So in normally in the prediction that we can go with the 90% prediction. It means that, so here that maximum value should be that 90 above. So here that next value should be the 10 below. So then only that our predictions are correct. So for an example, second I'm giving the female, means the second one only that it should be that more than 90%. The first class is that it is less than 10%. Then only that it is right. So for an example, that different shapes are available. So this is an input layer, this is an output layer. So these are all input hidden layers. So suppose that I'm giving that input as a round shape. So finally my prediction will be that class A. So class A will be square image, class B will be the round image, the class C will be the triangle image. So that I know that what is an input, that I know what is an output also. So my prediction should be that it should be that class B. It means that here that value should be that more than 0.9. The other value should be that less than 0.1. So this will be converted into that 28 into 28 pixel. It means that 784 pixels are available. So if you are taking that RGB, that grayscale image, so then only that it is a less pixel. Suppose that you are taking a input with help of that what is that Apple phone, that we are having the 256 megapixel camera, means the pixel size will be that you cannot imagine. So here I am discussing only that grayscale image. So in the grayscale image, that this image contains that 784 pixel. It means that it is we are taking as that layer by layer. So this kind of, so that I'm giving that, for an example, this is one, means I'm giving that input to this one. So 2 means that here I'm giving, 3 means that I'm giving that input here. Like that I'm giving that 784 input here only. Means x1, x2, x3 up to 784. Here some weighted values are given. So weighted value means that x1 is multiplied by 0.8, then X2 is that 0.4. That depends on that how much that it is occupied. For an example, that here that it may contains that full value, but here that it may not contain that full values. So then that we have to add the bias values also. So bias value means that we have to, for an example, that my output which lies between the 0 to 1 only. So for that only that I have to go with that activation value. So activation value, if you're not adding, means that either that input will be that it lies in the negative, or it that input value it may lies in the that positive. So whatever that final value will be there, so we have to go with that activation function. So activation function means that normally we are using that sigmoid function. Nowadays that in the advanced project and all, we are using the ReLU functions also. So this is called as a forward propagation. So in the forward propagation, finally that here I'm giving that input to that final layer. Here I'm applying that activation function. Suppose that here that outcome will be that negative value, means it will lies between 0 to 0.5. Suppose that here that I'm giving that positive value, means it will lies between that 0.5 to 1. So in these predictions, but that in the class A that I'm getting 0.5, class B I'm getting 0.4, class C I'm getting 0.1. So but that as per this that input, but this is wrong, because at a 0.5 the first value means it's a square, but that whatever that object is given, it is not a square one, it is a round shape. So that again that we have to calculate the so it is a wrong predictions. So I have to calculate the error value. So that actual output is that expected output is this one is 0. Only the B class B it is 1. The class C also 0. So here I'm calculating, so that here that error is minus 0.5. Here that error is plus 0.6. That here the error is the third class is the error is minus 0.1. So according to that error, that I'm changing that value of that weighted value, it means that I'm applying the delta value. So with the help of the back propagations, I'm doing that back propagation. So that next time that it is fine tuned, that next time I'm getting that 0.2 for that class A, 0.6 for class B, 0.2 for that class C. But even though that this one is that class B is more, but also that again that I have to calculate that error. So that here that I have to add that 0.04 also, but in the first and third that I have to reduce the 0.02. It means that I have to go with that fine tuning. Up to that fine tuning that I have to go for that back propagation algorithm. So that one forward propagation and another backward propagation, that is called as a one iteration. So for an example, that one black and white image is there, means so minimum it required that only that I'm talking about that 784 pixel image, means it may take that nearly thousands iterations. So then only we will get the fine tuning value. Again that I'm fine tuning. So now I'm getting that this is 0.9, this is 0.004, 0.06. So that it is almost okay. It means that I'm getting that more than 90%. So that I can go with that this model final outcome. Next that I have to classify that normal disease or infected leaf. So in that also that I can use that this kind of approach, artificial neural networks. So first that I have to divide into pixel by pixel. So I'm giving that input. So here that first image is it's a infected image. So next image is a normal image. It means a good image. So that outcome should be that class B only, not class A. Here that formula is given, so that x1 x1 w1, it means that the first in pixel value multiplied by weighted value 1. So then that up to that how many layers, how many inputs are there, according to that, then finally that we have to sum that all the values. So now that it is predicted that p value equal to 0.7, then that class A value equal to 0.7, class B value equal to 0.3, but it is wrong. Then again that I have to go for that back propagation. Then that one case study is also given, that it is a diabetic prevention. So diabetic prevention, the first time collecting the data set. So in the data sets that I'm using that attribute called that n number of time pregnancy, glucose level, BP level, skin, body mass index, then that how many diabetic pedigree functions, then the age, like that. But here that I'm using that income, so it is additional information. For an example, that what are the data I collected, that like this only here, that instead of that numeric, that characters are available. So ONE, it means that instead of number one, that it is we typed as that ONE. So it is a data entry error. So here also that BP also it is wrongly given that 6,800, and that income also additional value. So I have to go with that cleaning. It means data pre-processing. So finally that I am to go with that visualization. Then finally I have to build the decision tree. So from the decision tree, that suppose that if it is that less than 127 means that it is they are not affected by diabetes. Suppose that if it is more than 127 means, then the next factor that I have to check that what is that body mass index, or the next factor that what is the age. Like that we have to calculate, and finally that we have to do. So the task performed by that machine learning in the health is next, that we are talking about the our main motor, that we are talking about the healthcare industry. So in the healthcare industry, that we are doing these kind of operation. One is prediction, classifying, grouping, ranking, detection, deviation, and automating. So that machine learning performs a variety of tasks in the healthcare. So how that we are applying that machine learning to that healthcare is that healthcare sector that is being transformed by the ability to record massive amount of information. So we have to provide or automatically find the patterns and reasons about the data. So for an example, that you are taking that one day from morning to till that next day, means 24 hours that you are checking that BP for particular person. So suppose that you are calculating the BP that every time that you are noting in the that paper. So with the help of that some algorithm that you are drafting that in the graph format means, so whomsoever that the doctors are coming, so whether they will check that whether the it is increased or decrease, or that it is maintained the same means, they will take the decision very easily. So that adoption of that electronic health records has increased that 9 times since that 2008. It means that 2008 only 9.4% is that used, but now that in actually in 2015 that they are using that 83.8. So maybe that now they may cross that 100% also. So that why to use that large set means. So that MIT Laboratory of Computational Psychology de-identify that health data from that 40K critical care patient. So the demographic, it is a vital sign in laboratory test, meditations, notes, etc. that they prepared. So these data sets are available with the 230 million that unique patients since that 1995. So this is a very huge data sets. Even that in the during the pandemic time also, that GitHub repository, they added that US citizens that COVID data sets. So at the time that they started with the only small amount of data, now that if you're checking means that it is in the that nearly that 50 lakhs of data are available, data sets are available. So the diversity of the digital data sets means it's a label test, or that image. For an example, that you can take that X-ray report. So from that X-ray report also that you can take the some analysis. So we have to maintain some standardization. It means that diagnostics codes, then that laboratory tests, then that pharmacy national drug codes, then unified that medical language systems. Suppose that you want to check that whether that you are affected by diabetics means that you have to take that fasting test, and also that you have to check the that what is that hemoglobin sugar level. Then that suppose that they may check that urine glucose level also. So like that there are some standard tests are there, like that for each and every disease that they are having that certain codes. Then that industry interest in that artificial intelligence and the healthcare is that DeepMind Health, then IBM Watson for oncology, then deep learning technology, like that. So what can that machine learning do for that healthcare industry means that we have to we can improve the quality of care and population health outcomes while reducing that healthcare cost. Because that nowadays that if you're giving that your report, for an example, you're taking some report, if you're uploading the report to that one software means automatically it will tell that what are the remedial action that you have to do. So this is the example application which is improve the accuracy of the diagnostics and the risk predictions. So this is the optimistic hospital process that automatically that all the whatever that they are having certain pins that with help of the pins that they are keeping in you. So automatically the machine can read that all the calculations. So according to that, machine can increase that your for an example that some medicines that you have to add means that it will add, or some medicine that only you have to reduce the time to time means that automatically it will reduce. So this is also another finding that, for an example, that any cells are damaged with the cancer means automatically it will detect. So what are the portions are detected like that. So suppose that this is a breast cancer diagnosis. For an example, that you can take that X-ray image, or that you can take that any MRI or CT scan, that from that also that you can easily detect, or that kidney stones are available means you can take that scanning or X-ray of that kidney, so that it will, you can measure that, easily measure the what is the stone size like that. So that it is automatically, it will give the output in the form of that visualization, so that the doctor that they can easily predict that whether that you can easily classify whether that you are for an example that cancer means that you can classify as class A, class B, class C, class D, like that they can easily classify. So the one example application is it's ICU admission. So the emergency rooms in hospital having 17 variables means that blood pressure, age, etc. for newly admitted patients. So the decision is needed whether that to put the new patient in the intensive care unit. So that due to that high cost of that ICU, that those patients that they can, for an example, the problem is not that much means they can stay in the that normal room also. So from the normal room that they can take the some treatment also. So suppose that it is heavy means that they have to definitely they have to shift to that ICUs only. So what is the unique about that ML in healthcare means that life or death decisions. For an example, that surgery and all that previously the doctor will tell only that after practically they did the surgery. But nowadays that we can easily predict that whether that we can go for surgery or we can go with that some radiations, so that we can dilute that particular cancer part, like that we can take the decisions, because that we are using that unsupervised learning only. Unsupervised learning means that what directly that we are involving to the particular model. Then what makes that healthcare difference means that often that very little label data only used, but nowadays that huge volume of data. For an example, that you're taking that X-ray, or that you're taking the CT scan or that MRI scan means that huge that size of the uh, what is that object is that very big. So it is often very little label data. So sometimes small number of samples. So a lot of missing data that varying the time interval are considered the labels. It is difficult to de-identifying the data. So that difficult to deploy the machine learning model also. 10 use cases of that artificial intelligence in healthcare. That artificial intelligence means that we are using that machine learning algorithms only. First one is that robotic surgeons, then physician's assistant, then virtual nursing assistants, then administrative workflow, revenue cycle management, clinical decision support, then genetics and genomics, then that personalized medicine, that streamlined value-based care, cognitive radiology. So this is that robotic surgeon. So that for an example that you have to cut only that this much of depth means that automatically that particular robot will cut that type of only that much only. Even that we saw that in Robo movie. So that particular robot that it will do that delivery very easily. So we can integrate that pre-op medical report data and with the real-time operating metrics to improve that surgical outcome. So which is using the Da Vinci technique only. So the robots limbs with surgical instrument and 3D view. because that particular robot with having that X-ray sensor, X-ray view, so that you can easily that measure that how much that we have to cut. For an example, that normal that human means that they may cut very deeply, or that they may cut only that slight things and all. So they're not perfectly remove that entire that. For an example, they want to do some cancer surgery means they cannot do that entire. They cannot remove that entire thing, but if you are involving the robot means that it will accurately that it will do that surgery. So miniature that mobile robot to sense that map and treat the heart. Then physician assistance means that because that nowadays that chatbots are available. So with help of the chatbots that you can do that a number of things. The chat GPTs are available. So it is ordered to prescription and lab tests. So take the comprehensive notes during in-person appointment. Then that it is a benchmark benchmarking. So benchmarking means it's intelligence alerts informing the doctors when they have gone off course from norms. So example that Lanston study of improving the doctors who prescribe that more antibiotic than their peers. For an example that normally that what people will do now, if any pains are there means we will take that antibiotic immediately, or that we are suffering from cold means automatically that we are taking that medicine. But that real fact is if you're taking that tablet means within 3 days that it will automatically cure. But if you're not taking the tablet means it may take that 72 hours to cure. Both are same only. Then virtual nursing assistants, so that which answer that medical questions that triage and direct to the correct medical service, whether it is emergency or otherwise. Then it providing that personalized medication and care instructions. Then receive smart notification, then wellness checks, which will manage or monitor and communicate. So nowadays that we are talking about the cruise mode. So in the cars and all that we are talking about the cruise mode, or that in the flight and all that they are not going to run that flight for that long and all. So they will keep in that mode so that that flight automatically it will fly. It is automatic mode. Then administrative workflow, that it is a prioritized that urgent matters, then cut documentation time and improve that reporting quality. Recently that chat GPT was introduced. So that time that one judge that he will give that verdict according to the what are the chat GPT given. So like that also the decisions that it will take that easily, and also that accuracy also that it is very, very good only. Then voice to text translation and that automate non-patient care. Suppose that in the, for an example, that medical students are there. So in the surgery, they want to take the notes means they cannot take the complete running notes. Suppose that you are having that any devices to which will convert that voice to text means automatically you can use that so that you cannot miss that single word also. So the scheduling is easy, the writing chart notes, then prescribe meditation, then ordering tests, that automated check, etc., check-ins, etc. Then the revenue cycle management. So the revenue cycle management means which analyzes the financial records to maximize book value. So which is selecting that which past due accounts need to collections action based on the size and likelihood payout, etc. Analyzing of that missing charges based on the common procedural grouping. Then clinical decision support, that already I told that for an example that according to the input that it will give the some suggestions. For an example that the range that they are giving. For an example, what are the tests that you are taking that they will give certain range. So for an example, hemoglobin means that this much count will be there. So for an example that it is a white cell means that you have to this much count will be there. Red cell means that this much count. Like that it will give that range. So suppose that you are what are that your testing reports that it will match only that between the data means they you automatically will tell that no need of contacting that any doctors. Suppose that levels are more means that automatically it will suggest that the doctors. So whomsoever that for an example that whomsoever doctors are famous in the particular city means that automatically that it will suggest that particular doctor. In genetics and genomics is that that is also playing a vital role. So especially that in the year of 1990 that genetics algorithm that it is introduced. So from that is that main what is that called main revolution for that medical field, because that For an example, that I want my son to be that very good in that all kind of activities. Suppose that you want to become a sportsman, because I'm not a very good sportsman. So for that I want my kids to be very good in that sports, or that I want my son to be very good in the cricket. Means I can add, I can change my that whatever that my son that DNA. So before that pregnancy, that I can change that DNA. I can add that what for an example, that some cricketers that DNA structures are available. Means according to the DNA structure, that I can change that particular DNA structure. Then personalized medicine, that even that many apps are available in the nowadays, that many apps are available. So with the help of that apps, that you can your how many steps that you daily that you are walking. So what is that weight that whether it is reduced or not, or that it will suggest that how much the distance that you have to cover, or that what type of food that you have to take, like that it will give that what many things. Then streamline that value-based care also, which is the clinical overflow based off that available resources, that bottlenecks, then predictive analysis to help the determine optimistic sequences, then reducing the duplicate lab test and other wastes. Then cognitive radiology, so with help of that MRI or that some CT scan, that we can see that what is the changes are happen that in our structure. Suppose that our nerves are that we are getting that some pain in the that backbone, means so that we can check that whether that any additional muscles are available or tissues are available, like that we can easily take with help of that MRI or CT scan, that even that X-ray also, that we can easily analyze. Suppose that you are repeatedly you are getting that some stomach pain, or means that you can go with some other test. And cognitive radiology also, that which it will detects the tumors, then anterior stenoids, then organ delineate delineation, then necrosis, then image classifier as modality, then resolution, then dimensions, etc. So finally, that I'm going to conclude this summary, because that after that artificial intelligence that development, especially that using in the medical field, like that. For an example, that we are talking about the neural networks or that genetics algorithm, even that many field, that artificial intelligence that play the vital roles, because that humans they made some mistakes, but that machines they can't, until that you are giving that wrong input, that it won't do that any type of mistakes. So either that you are taking in the positive manner or negative manner, it is depends on that your mindset only. For an example, in the robo movie also, that initially the robo was developed for the good willing good purpose only, but then afterwards that they changed that their complete uh, what is it, that systems, and that they are using for that bad things also. So from artificial intelligence surgery to that epidemic controls, machine learning is likely to have that significance impact on the healthcare industry in near future. While the positive impact of the use of machine learning can already be felt in various areas of the healthcare industry, several other things are that likely to be impacted in near futures. So with more advancement to be that made in the technology, machine learning is expected to continue playing in that even more important role in the healthcare industry in the years to come. So previously that the people maybe suffer with that leg pains or that knee pains and all, but that we don't know that what type of problem that they may happen. But nowadays that testings are available, there are a lot of testing centers are available. Even for that, if you're having that's some irritation in the eyes, or that you are having some vision problem also, if you go to that eye testing, that there are hospitals also, that with help of that some machines, that they can easily calculate that what is that problem in that your eyes, with help of that machine only. So these are all that input that you are giving to that particular um, device, means that it will create that some awesome changes in the futures also. So I am signing off that this is my mail ID, this is my contact number. So my credentials also available that in the my own website. So if you have any any doubts regarding to that any machine learning or deep learning or that any artificial intelligence, even that blockchain technology also, that you can contact me either through mail, or this is my WhatsApp number that you can send some messages, or anything that you want to see also, that see my credential in this website. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity. Any queries?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Santosh Kumar, sir. Any queries, please raise your hands. Shilpa. Ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, no more questions. The session is very crystal clear. Starting
Thank
from
you,
the
ma'am.
fundamental concepts to the research in machine learning towards medical. So informative, sir. And even fundamental topics also we can understand with great pictures, architectures, and the examples, whatever the examples you use, real-time example like swimming, robo movie. So those are all very impressive, sir. I'm so lucky to attend this session, and thank you for offering the contact details also, sir. So we'll be in
Thank
touch,
you, ma'am.
sir. Thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
R. Chandrakumar.
Hello, sir. Thanks for the session. Sir, can I have a query? The query is, what are the ideas wherein student can work on some small projects, the data sets and other things? Can you just elaborate, sir?
So the small project means they can do that mini projects like that. They can collect the some, for an example, that gold are there. So now that it is drastically that it is varying. For an example, that I think that 3 months back that 10 grams gold is 56,000 only. But now that today that it is 76,000 only. So we can do that kind of analysis. Or that for an example that timetable, that for an example the faculties are struggling, very much struggling to finalize the timetable. So that also that they can do that some things, or that you can go with that some sentimental analysis. For an example, that you want to make that you want to do that categorize, it may be bad or it may be good or it may be average. So anything that you can do. So like that they can do some mini project. So ask your students to refer that GitHub repositories. There are many projects are available. So whatever that projects are there, that mainly that they implemented using the support vector machine. So you can guide them to use that some other advanced languages, or sorry, advanced algorithms.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Varalakshmi, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Santosh sir, for giving a very insightful session. Everything is crystal clear, as Silpa ma'am said. And it would be helpful if you can share the PPT, if possible, through the GMR.
PPT I'll share you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll be using it for. Is it okay to use it in the classrooms with your consent?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There's no copyrights, ma'am.
Yeah, it's very crystal clear. The information that you provided is very straight and simple to follow.
Thank
you very much, sir.
Any more queries? Okay, sir. So thank you,
first
sir.
of
Thank
all,
you
I
very much.
apologize, ma'am, because the session is that 3 to 5. So today that AICTE, that online inspection was fixed from 2 to 4. So because of that I'm not able to take the session and from 3 to 5. So sorry for the inconvenience.
It's okay, sir.
Okay.
It's okay, sir.
It's not a
Actually, it's not a problem, but actually this is a time we had less yesterday. It is some so count of the participants has been reduced, maybe because of change in the time. We are also
Yes,
felt,
ma'am, yes, ma'am.
but you kept all your efforts, sir, in delivering the speech even after continuous busy schedule from morning to evening. So you're continuously have given your speech for 2 hours. You started your speech starting from basics to completely in depth, starting from artificial intelligence, machine learning, artificial neural networks, in how it helps in health domain. The session is very informative, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Anyone who want to give any feedback or any questions? Shilpa, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome,
Madhuri
ma'am.
Gupta.
Santosh sir, this is Dania.
Ma'am, nice to talk to you, ma'am.
Yeah, nice to meet you, sir, on the screen. And I have listened to your session also. It is very informative, sir. And thank you so much. Happy to see you.
Okay, welcome, ma'am.
Madhuri Gupta, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Your session was fantastic. You have given all the part of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and all the ANN concept also. Actually, sir, I am pursuing my PhD in speech recognition. So I have collected my own data, but it is unstructured. Means I have collected audio because I'm pursuing my PhD on Chhattisgarhi dialects. So I have collected so many dialects from different regions of Chhattisgarh. So I want to know that how I can structure my audio so that I
Ma'am,
can
first thing is
apply.
that you can use that any converting tools, ma'am. Audio to that text converter. So voice to text converter, that tools are available. First that you have to convert to the text format. Then from the text format that you can do the some sentimental analysis so that you will get the what are that structured data.
So I have to
But
convert
it is
my
a very
audio
lengthy
into
process. Because that normally that what sentimental analysis that we are doing now, for an example, you take it as the Twitter data. So that Twitter data that we are removing that stop words. We are doing that many data pre-processing like that. For an example, that thumb symbol is there means that we are converting into the text format. Like that we are doing that in the sentimental analysis. So in the similar kind of things also that you can do.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will search for it. Thank you so much for suggestion,
ma'am.
sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. We can close the session and no more worries from the participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Santosh sir,
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
your informative session. Thank you all participants. And also finally, I'm apologizing for the change of timings, but I felt it is happy to have an informative session by Dr. B Santosh Kumar, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.